Hey friend, I'm so glad you're here. In this video, I'm going to talk about how my one word for 2021, my focus, theme, intention, whatever you want to call that, what I chose for 2021, how that went, and then what I chose for my 2022 word and why I chose it and what I hope to do to implement that into my life in this new year. So if that interests you, then pour yourself a warm beverage, get cozy, and then let's get real about my 2022 focus. So my focus for 2021 was this phrase, make mistakes, because at 2022, I was just, even though I had been working on overcoming my perfectionism, there was just still so much that was holding me back in life and just causing me so much anxiety and depression. And so 2021, I wanted this to be a big year for making a lot of progress on this, in overcoming that perfectionism and my harsh inner critic. And so I wanted to come into the year with this mindset that if I'm making mistakes, then that means that I'm actually doing something, like I'm actually putting myself out there, taking risks, facing my fears, learning. And these are all things that are actually, not something to beat myself up for, but it is something to celebrate. And if you want to learn more about why I chose this for my 2021 focus, you can click here to watch my video from last year. Throughout the year, I also did some quarter reviews along the way, so you can get a lot more in depth there about how my progress was going. But kind of the synopsis is that I was off to a pretty great start, and by quarter one, I already was noticing a lot of improvement. I realized that, so I started off trying to keep a list of all my mistakes, which I know sounds counterproductive, of like you're trying to not focus on your these things that are like you're beating yourself up for and you're insecure about because they're imperfections. But what my goal was to write down these mistakes and then think about like, okay, well, what was something that is worthy of celebration from this? What am I learning from this? What did I do to like have even like made this mistake? You know what I mean? And so I realized that even the act of like going to write something down, I'd like pause and be like, wait, is this even a mistake? And so at first it would like help me kind of reanalyze that and like, is this even, would I even call this a mistake to be worthy to put on this list of mistakes? And then, like I said, the act then of thinking about what can I celebrate from this was really starting to be helpful. And by the second quarter, I noticed myself starting to struggle again. A lot of these anxieties came up and a lot of these like feelings of what's the word, like I guess like guilt and like shame and like beating myself up way too hard again. Like some of that started to come up again for me, and I realized that though I had made a lot of progress in being kinder to myself and giving myself more grace in like my own things, like how I was living my life and spending my time for like my own things, like my blog and my YouTube channel, or like, things that are just me and only me depending on it, you know what I mean? I made a lot of progress with that, but when it came to things that were more external pressures, like for example, I had an art commission that I was doing for someone. I also was doing some virtual assistance work for someone else, and or even like in some friendships and things that were going on there, I just realized that a lot of those perfectionistic feelings were still very strongly there, and is still a very deep struggle and something that was hard for me to get over when it had to do with other people, when it affected other people, when there was opportunity for other people to be disappointed in me. And processing through all these things helped me realize, well, I had always known that like these were kinds of things that I struggled with, that I'm afraid of upsetting people, you know, but this kind of unlocked this discovery of how deeply rooted some of the trauma was. Like some of this relational trauma I had had from my past that then makes me so afraid of upsetting other people, of making people angry at me, especially men. Angry men is a really big trigger for me. And it was a big year for me personally too, of coming out of having had some really, actually it was just in January of the start of the year, a close friend of mine just kind of ghosted me. Like someone that I talked to every single day just disappeared and didn't ever explain why, didn't communicate, and it really hurt me. And I had had some of those experiences just the previous year, and so it was just a really hard time. And I also want to put out there that if you are someone who's ever been abandoned by a friend, I actually wrote a letter of encouragement. So if you've gone through something like that, I hope that from my past experiences and what I've been learning through that it might encourage you. So check that out if you think that might help. So then another time of this, like since writing that blog post and doing that video, this happened again. And so I was coming from this brokenhearted place, but just still, I mean, wanting to have friends still, wanting to be able to trust other people. And so I knew that I had a lot of these things to work through, and I'm honestly really proud of myself of how I like kept trying to put myself out there. And, you know, despite all of these fears and anxieties that had only increased because of this other experience that just added on to some of the relational fears that I had, and being scared to trust people and scared to depend on them to want to stay, and, you know, working through some of those self-esteem issues that come with that. And I'm honestly really proud of myself because, you know, with this theme of make mistakes, I was like, I'm just gonna try. Like, what's, you know, I've survived this before, and it really, really sucked, and it still hurts me deeply, but I've made it through before. I can make it through again if this happens again. And so I took some chances, I took some risks, and kind of like put my little heart of friendship out there. And it wasn't long after, actually, even that in January, it's just been a year. We just celebrated our 1-year friendiversary of I let myself get closer with this person, and this person has become one of my closest friends. And I would not have been able to have these amazing benefits of, you know, getting to know someone and to feel that love and return, and just so many good things, you know, that come from friendship. And I would not have experienced any of that, and I would not have this close friend today had I not pushed through that pain and taken some risks. You know, I'm not saying like it's important to know yourself, and it can take time to heal before you can start to put yourself back out there. So I'm not saying like just jump all in, and people do need to earn your trust. And so it was a process for me in that too, of just like little pieces at a time. You know, don't just jump all in. You know, people need to earn knowing you and earn your trust. But sorry, just needed to give that little disclaimer out there. And then near the end of the year, I ended up meeting a few more people that are starting to become very, very valued and appreciated parts of my life that now it's like I don't know, like it's like almost hard to imagine life without them now because they're just like such a pleasure to know, such a positive part of my life now. And in addition to some of these major lessons and moments of growth for me, I wanted to share like just a few more personal and professional things that I count as achievements, or at least, things to celebrate. So in the personal category, like I said, I made some amazing new friends. I met a lot of other amazing people too, and had video calls with them, which, by the way, is one of my biggest fears. I do these YouTube videos and it still feels kind of different because I'm just still by myself talking to the camera, but I have a very intense fear of talking live to people, and so I'm very proud of myself for pushing through and talking to some strangers that are now lovely acquaintances and even some friends. Also, like I said, I took more risks in trusting others and being open and vulnerable despite my fears of abandonment. I set more boundaries to protect my energy and health despite my fear of disappointing others. I went to the chiropractor for the first time. By the way, through that, I found out that one of my legs was almost an inch taller than the other. What's it called? It was like pelvic tilt or something. So like, I literally been walking unbalanced for who knows how long. And so she set me straight. It was great. I virtually attended SoloCon. I took a week off during a busy time for me to enjoy a vacation with my husband for our 5-year anniversary. And then professionally, I hosted my first Zoom event. I did 2 different trivia parties, one for Palentine's Day and one for Star Wars Day, and it was a lot of fun. I started a new Patreon reward of monthly encouraging geeky art cards that I drew myself. I finished my personality profiler training with Christian Rivera and started doing practice sessions, which, by the way, I don't know at the time that you're watching this, but I will be very soon offering personality profiling as a service. I hosted my first panel discussion for YouTube with 4 amazing men. I spoke at the Mental Health Blog Awards. I loved my experience with the Mental Health Blog Awards so much that I applied and was accepted to be a community leader for them. I guested on the podcast First Geek 411 twice, once on the topic of DC villains and the other time talking about Pokemon Snap. I had business coaching with Andy Mort. I was in a 3-month business group coaching with your Coach Meg. I did my first full-length whiteboard video for YouTube, and I was very proud of it. You should go check that out right now if you haven't. It's about different personality systems and which one is best for you. I created more unscripted vlogs, which again, by the way, if you haven't been around, words are hard sometimes, people. If you are kind of new to me or haven't seen some of my other things, I'm usually like a very planned out person. I script my videos, but with the whole theme of make mistakes last year, I tried to do more unscripted vlogs where I just came in with not much of a plan and did the talkie talks and didn't edit as much, and so that was a big deal for me. Just so you know. So be proud of me, give me validation. And I started some new collaborations that I will hopefully be able to share with you soon. Wink. And so that brings us to telling you what my word is for 2022. And I cheated and I chose 2 for 2022 because I can do what I want. So my focuses for 2022 is connect and celebrate. So what do these mean to me and why did I choose them? That is a very good question, my friend, and I will answer that for you. So let's start with connect. So I chose connect because I was looking through all my highlights from 2021. So I was going through this workbook that your Coach Meg gave me, linked down below to her coaching stuff. You should check her out. She also does a lot of great workshops. This one was actually for her, it was a workshop about your vision for the new year, and I used that actually to kind of help me figure out what I would choose for my focus for the year. And so through this little workbook, I was finding themes between my different highlights of what things were bringing me the most joy. And I realized that one of those things was relationships. Like I said before, I had made some of these new friends, and of course I was keeping up with old friends too, and the times that I, like, it was social and interacted with people, or even like collaborations, in a professional way, doing these networking things, doing projects with other people, it just brought me so much joy. And so I want to do more of that in the new year, especially with this pandemic. Like, I bet a lot of you can relate to this. Like, I haven't been out much. Like, actually, as I'm recording this, I finally video called a friend like a day or two ago, but I don't remember the last time I've left my house. But, I haven't been able to like go see people, and then I just, get focused on my own work, and so I haven't been video calling people a whole lot, but I tried to be a bit more intentional here and there throughout the year last year, and I just really enjoyed whenever I did do that, and so I want more of that in 2022, more focusing on making connections, trying to re-strengthen my social muscles that have atrophied during this pandemic, and meeting more new people, continuing to develop current friendships, more networking, more collaborations, more people coming on my channel, me guest posting on other people's channels. Hit me up if you're interested. And then my second word, celebrate, it's kind of a continuation actually from last year of like how I said I had chosen make mistakes, and I was trying to reframe my mindset into thinking, not like, oh, bad job, Anna, you should have done better, you poo-poo head, like, I don't know. And starting to think like, oh, this is actually something to celebrate because I was doing the things, facing the fears, pow, 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 like the superwoman I am. And so that's reason to celebrate that, like, I learned new things. I did things. Like, I'm actually making progress in some different areas, even if it doesn't, like, seem like that at first because I made a mistake. So now, it's even more of the focus on celebrate. I want to make sure I'm taking more time to, like, acknowledge myself and appreciate and celebrate, like, the things that I'm doing, no matter how small. Like, if it's like, wow, I really didn't want to go on a video call because I was feeling anxious, but I did it anyways, and I had a really good time. Or even if I had a bad time, like, I did it. Like, that's a huge thing, and I need to celebrate that. And celebrating every single new subscriber that I get. And which, by the way, if you haven't already and you're liking my content and want to see more, make sure to hit that like button and hit subscribe so I have more things to celebrate. I'll celebrate you, you beautiful human you. Also, as part of my new year focusing thing I like to choose something to help me remember it throughout my year. Like, in the past, I've had artwork done. I've had bracelets that were engraved with my word. I've had, like, my lock screen background, so every time I open my phone, I remembered my focus. So this year, I have this little keychain, and it says connect. I actually have two of them. And actually, it came in a set of 4. And one of my friends actually had this. That was one of their words for the year too. So I sent a couple of them to him. Connect, little keychain, and you probably noticed to represent celebrate. Look at my nails. Ah, pretty. Look, it's confetti. confetti to remind me to celebrate. I got this nail polish, this confetti nail polish, and I found one that was kind of like purples and blues, which is really exciting because it's my favorite color. Look at this. Look at this. I don't know why I'm doing this with my eyes. Look at them. Look at the pretties. Anyways, I forgot my hot chocolate. I think that's all the things I had to tell you. I'm so glad you're here. Please subscribe so we can be buddies. And comment down below to tell me if you have a word for the new year. And if you don't and you want to, I'm looking at my blog post because I just remembered something that I wanted to share with you. I actually have a blog post called How to Choose Your One-Word Focus. And if you subscribe to my email list, then you can get my free worksheet that gives some more questions and things to help you kind of reflect on last year, reflect on your life, to kind of help you choose what you might want to be, what you might want to have be for your theme for 2022. Did that come out right? So make sure to check that out. I'll have the blog post and a direct link to my email list if you just want to go for it to get that worksheet. Bada bing, bada boom, right to your inbox. And my subscribers, you just get supposed to be 1 email a month, but I'm kind of bad at keeping up with it, let's be honest. So if you don't like spam, I'm a great one to have because it's just every so often. But I pop in, hello, with telling you about some new things. Like you'll be the first to know when my new personality profiling service is launched, and you can get in there first and know all the deets first. It's actually going to be really cheap when I first start, until I feel a bit more comfortable to up my prices to be something more reasonable. So if you want to get it like super cheap, get on my list and you'll be the first to know when that's out. But I think that's all the things for this video. So love ya, and until next time, keep it real.